Welcome to Calico lesson number 2. Today we're going to take a look at functions. So I'm starting up Calico as before, and you can define a function right here in the console area. That would be define, and you give it the function name. Let's do a test where we add two numbers together. So I'll name the function add, and now we do an open parentheses and we list any parameters the function needs. Let's just call these something simple like A and B. These will be two numbers that we pass in as arguments. End the line with a colon, press enter, and then tab, so everything after a colon gets indented. And this is going to be a function that we return something, and the thing that we want to return is the addition of A plus B. So I'll just return A plus B. Hit enter, and then enter one more time, and now we have a function called add that we can now call. Calling a function simply means that you name the function and then put parentheses after it. To call it, we need to provide any arguments that it needs. So let's just give it 1 and 2, and we end with an ending parentheses, and we hit enter, and we can see that calling our function add 1, 2 does in fact return 3. We can try this out with a more complicated example. Let's say that I want to add two numbers and then add two numbers to that. So I can actually call add, and let's give it some slightly bigger numbers, and we can add that to some other numbers. That ends the first add, and that ends the next add, and we press enter, and that will add 679,823 to 6,752,365, and then it will add that to the addition of 7,676 to 4,534. I'll add those two together and then add those two sums together for a grand total of 7,444,939. Now, oftentimes when you're working with Calico and Python, you probably don't want to just write these functions in the console area. You actually want to create a program and save those. So I'm going to go to the menu, go to Windows and Editor, and let's move that over here. And now we have a program that we can put our functions in, and in fact we can put many functions in here and save this and use it all semester long. So the first thing I'm going to do is save this, and let's call it functions, and every Python program that you write in Calico should end in .py. I'll click on save, and now we have the file functions.py, and now we can, if we want, we could redefine our add. It takes A and B, end with a colon, returns A plus B, and Shift Tab will come back over to the left. Let's define some more functions. Let's try multiply. Define multiply, and let's have it take three things, A, B, and C. These are three parameters called A, B, and C, different from the A and B in the add function. And let's make this also return A times B times C. And pressing Control S will save that. I can click on the green check mark to run that program. So now those two functions are now defined over here in the shell, and I can check that by just typing add and hitting enter, and I see now that it is indeed a function add at that particular memory location. just make sure that it's still the same thing as it was before. Add 3 and 4 together, we get 7. Let's try multiply now. Multiply 5 times 6. Oh, right, we made multiply take 3 arguments. So in the editor, or in the shell here, we can see a Python error. And the way that you read Python errors are from the bottom up. So the most important line here is multiply takes exactly 3 arguments. And as we saw, I actually only gave it 2. So we need to call that again. So I'm going back up here to the console area, hitting up arrow, and then I'll add a 3rd argument, 5, 6, and 7, and pressing enter. And now I get 210. 5 times 60 times, or 5 times 6 times 7 is 210. And we can check that out by 5 times 6 times 7 is in fact 210. And of course I can combine these. I can multiply 7, 8, 9, and actually let's, instead of making that 3rd argument be a number, let's make it be a call to our add function, and let's add 78 and 45. And so we're going to multiply 7 times 8 times whatever 78 plus 45 is, and we see that in fact you can combine these in lots of different ways. So that is the first lesson in defining and using